Hey, how's it going, everyone? Just back in with another live stream. This is a bit of an impromptu live stream. I was just on End Times Teachers channel, and he's just low on minutes because StreamYard limits the monthly allotment. So I just decided to go live on my channel. And then, I'll put the link in the chat, if he wants to join, and really anybody, if they want to join. There's no real, like set topic, today. It's just to kind of continue on the discussion him and I were having. So, it's sort of open. I put the title of this as, that as the focus, if people want to discuss that, or if anybody has any questions, definitely I'll answer those. And then I'll go through a good time to go through a comment that somebody left on my channel. And then regarding the mark of the beast, and I'll just answer that here and go through it now. But him and I were discussing GMS. And in particular, like the elders of GMS, and the quote spirit of his vantage point was giving double honors to the apostles and all that. And then I think it's better to have this discussion on my channel because I'm not about giving double honors or anything to anybody except ultimately the Most High. And so because there's a group of people on this earth that interact with God directly, and don't care about anybody else's opinion, And I fall in that camp. It doesn't mean that what I teach is correct just based on that statement, but I'm in that group. And so I don't value anybody's opinion, any other man or woman's opinion on this earth. I just treat it as that, as an opinion. And at this point, a lot of it is just to laugh at. So I don't give double honors and I don't want anybody, the way I treat other people, I want people to treat me. This is the way that we're taught, right? Do unto others as you want to be done to yourself. The reason I say things this way is I want you people, everybody listening, to treat me the same way. Okay. That's my goal in this, for my channel. Okay. Is to quote unquote inspire people to not take anything that I say as more than opinion. Okay. I can tell you that I had this experience with God. I could say I was sealed. I can say this and that and make up whatever I want. Okay. It doesn't matter. For you listening, you have to go to God and either confirm those statements or ask for some kind of revelation yourself. Okay. And so just do that. And so, that's the angle with which I'm coming at with our discussion on GMS. But we got ETT here, man. What's up, dude? Welcome.
Hey, what's up, man? Are you able to hear me all right?
Yeah, good quality. How's everything?
Same old. I'm surviving. Inside joke.
That's good, man. I think it's better to have this discussion here. So I forgot about your minutes running down. So, I don't think I'm anywhere near the limit. So, if you ever want to chat, just maybe send me a message on Hangouts, and then I'll fire up a thing if I have time. So just like in the future, not whatever, if you want that, just so you know.
Yeah, that's cool, man. That's cool. Anyway, man, I sent you this video yesterday, man, because I saw this, the D-Coon, it was going live. So yeah. I was going to watch it. I didn't have time to watch all of it.
Yeah.
But did you like that?
Dude, that's like if you sending me that is like me sending you like 10 boxes of ice vanilla zingers. I got excited, dude. I was it was late at night because I just posted that video and I watched it because I had to, and I have it bookmarked, so I'm gonna watch it again because D-Coon, shout out if he's one of the 3 people watching, he wants me to join on Sunday to discuss these things further. And I don't know if I want to, man. But
wait, is this tomorrow?
He said he's going live tomorrow. Yeah, he said, yeah, that's what he said. Hey, look,
man, I might have to join on, but yeah, man, I'll be there to support you, man. He might not let me on at the same time that you're doing it, But hey, look, man, I might have to come on and fire a few spiritual
Yeah.
slugs
What I
at
want to
the
do,
Coon.
dude, ETT, I got to take the slugs out of their body that you gave them last time first as a preoperative procedure. Then I can fire my own because I want new slugs. You know what I'm getting at.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. But no, I don't know. I may join, but we can discuss. I mean, I thought the video that he posted was ridiculous, regarding whether the thing is the MOTB for people
Which
out
just
there.
let
Go
me
for
real
it.
quick say this. Hey, if anybody's watching and you don't know who I am, hey, look, me and Mine of God, we go far back. Just look me up on YouTube, End Time Teacher. You can follow me there. But just to say this, my standpoint on, MOB, because we got to watch what we say on here.
Yeah,
But my standpoint is I stand with the belief that it's the chip. However, I will say this. Could it be this thing that's going out throughout the world right now? It could be. This could be the MOB. And that's the standpoint I would have. So I do agree with the mind of God. This could most certainly be the MOB. Okay. It could be, most certainly. So that's my standpoint on this. Okay. But yeah, if anybody would like to learn more about me, you can follow me on YouTube, End Time Teacher. Anyway, I'll throw it back to mind of God.
yeah, and his link is in the chat for people. That's who's speaking right now with the Zingers cake treat, which I haven't ate one yet, but I may try one at some point. But yeah, and I appreciate that. Like, we're open. I would say that's why I would say End Times Teacher is possibly the only person at this point, and I'm not trying to be arrogant. I would say Awaken Pennsylvania. He's cool too, and like some other people, but I only really talk to him because, first of all, End Times Teacher knows the Bible quite a bit. And, we're both okay. If we're proven to be wrong, we're not going to go and make slander videos about you and say, oh, you're a demon and all. We're going to be like, thank you. Okay. Thank you for teaching us something that's correct. Okay. And then we'll adjust. So we're not like some of these bigger groups, but the people we're talking about, I put their link in the chat. It's Sakari talking about the MOTB. I would highly recommend people watch that. It's not too long. For some reason, he doesn't start for the first 12 minutes. So kind of fast forward through the beginning. And, ETT said he hasn't watched it yet. I've seen it once. I'm going to watch it again. And then I may do another hangout soon. And if people want to discuss that or the other video that I did recently about the vaccine, which is a 501c3 expression of what it is. She basically didn't say what it is. She said what it isn't. And so she didn't really answer the question. So anyway, that's what we're discussing right now. And prior to this on his channel for a few minutes, we were talking about GMS, which is a group of Hebrew Israelites who believe that they are the ancestry essentially of, or in the lineage, sorry, of, God's chosen people, Jacob. So that's what's been happening for people who are maybe new to that language. We use a lot of these terms, assuming everybody knows what we're talking about. They may not. So Sakari and GMS are groups that believe, and I would say ETT and I also believe that the so-called Negroes are the biblical Jews. And then that's who we're talking about. So back to you.
Yeah, man. As I said, I sent Mind of God this video the other day because it came up in my subscription box of videos that were just posted. So I was like, I went on for a few minutes because I had something else I had to take care of. But yeah, I sent him that because I was like, hey, look, I know that the Mind of God's going to want to get all over the D-Coon and the Sidekick facade. Hey, look, I joined them, I want to say maybe a month ago. I gave those boys a run for their money. Hey, look, somebody called it Ambalam because Sakari got laid out. Somebody called it Ambalam because those boys need some serious medical attention.
Yeah.
Inside joke. But anyway, I was on there with those guys, and those guys got cut 6 ways to Sunday with the scriptures, for lack of better words. But yeah, we're going to look at this video here and see what, our friend here, the D-Coon, has to say.
Dude, you didn't watch any of it, or you just saw the beginning or something? Did you see any of it?
I think I maybe only watched maybe 5 minutes of it because I was gonna come back and watch it today, but then I got sidetracked into something else. But yeah, this is really my first time really watching.
Okay, so it's exactly what I expected. And it's incredible because this could not be more obvious. And so I give credit to ETT and his congregation for being open to this possibility, that we are in fact witnessing the MOTB right before our very eyes, and we don't need to say the word because everybody knows what we're talking about, because it's literally
Right.
everywhere.
Sorry to cut you off, man. I just wanted to say something real quick.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, as I said, my, of course, standpoint is it's, the microchip. But you know what? I could be wrong with that, because this thing does fit the prophecy. So this could be the MOB. This certainly could be, right? And as I said, we're going to find out very soon. Is it? Possibly. All right. We're going to find out in the very near future, because it does fulfill the prophecy. My God, you want to read that for us? Because this does fulfill the prophecy, because very soon you're not going to be able to go to certain buildings without taking part in this thing. So this certainly does, at least from my standpoint, this certainly does look as if it does fulfill the prophecy. And they are enforcing this. Go ahead.
I got a funny joke for you, man. I gotta tell you this while you're saying that. So the Deacon's like, oh no, you can go to a restaurant. You just have to eat outside. So that doesn't count for buy or sell, because you can just go eat outside. Because right now they have rules. That they have rules, right? Where you could just, they're like, okay, stay outdoors, right? And then obviously put a mask on. And then some places are saying wear 2 masks. So shout out to Deacon, man. I don't know if maybe his brain is not working because of what ETT did to him on the last hangout, a couple weeks ago or whatever. But their brain is not functioning. But I'll read the verse, man. I'll pass it back to you. Sorry to interrupt. Revelation 13:16-18. And he causeth all, both small and great. Oh, this is actually another funny thing, dude. Too many funny things, man. I may have to make a full video responding to Deacon. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. And that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. His breakdown on all of this was terrible. Here is wisdom. Let him that have understanding count the number of the beast, for his number of a man, and his number is 666. So ETT and I are of the camp that's not one man, okay? Because a lot of people write that on my comment board, and I delete that at this point. But him and I do agree on that, okay? When it says here it's a number of a man, that's not one man popping up in Israel doing whatever the hell people think. So one thing that Deacon said, he's like, look at this, it says free and bond. Oh, he's like, my brother is actually serving 25 to life. He's in jail. Oh, he hasn't had to take it yet. that was his actual argument. I'm like, bro, relax, dude. It hasn't gone out fully yet. And so he's like, oh no, that can't be it, because my brother is in jail and he hasn't had to take it yet. I was like, really, dude? Back to you, man. Absurd.
Yeah, man. As I said, man, and as I said, man, as I said, I'm of the school of belief that it's a chip. But you know what? As I said, since I'm an honest person, you know what? As I said, this does fulfill the prophecy. This does fulfill it. So by logical deduction, we can conclude that, you know what? This truly could be what it's talking about. And we're going to find out. We're going to find out very soon, right. Because it's all in its beginning stages right now. So, we're in the very near future. We're going to find out. Could we be wrong? We could be wrong. Could ETT be wrong saying it's a microchip? Absolutely, he could be wrong. Could Mind of God be wrong with saying that it's for sure this thing? Absolutely. We're open to that. But you know what?
Right.
What we're seeing right now clearly does match up with the scriptures, right? So we're going to see in the very near future, I would say probably 6 months to a year, we're going to see what happens, because things, the Bible's looking pretty good right now, as the Mind of God likes to say.
Oh my God. It looks like a Zinger's cake treat that's not going to expire for another year. When they're really fresh, really fresh.
Yeah, man.
Oh man, or like a bowl of Chipotle or something for whatever people like. So Bible's looking amazing. So the video I posted last night, I don't want to discourage that for people to read it. I would say get into it. My channel is just me sometimes complaining. And that's for people who are a bit deeper into it, like End Times Teacher. I don't want people to get burnt out, because you can get burnt out in this quote unquote thing of ours, as ATT says. But no, I appreciate your honesty, man. I would say that's really why you're possibly the only religious person that I really want to talk to at this point, because everybody else goes crazy. Oh, this F you and all, they'll go nuts. It's like what he said is absolutely correct. I could be wrong. Okay. I would say at this point, though, that if this narrative, I think him and I will agree with this on this, if this narrative is not part of the end times, then there is no end times and the Bible's not true.
Right.
we're getting close to that. You don't have to go full throttle like me. Here's what I will say. I want this to be the mark of the beast. Why? Because then we're so close to the finish line. So close. You can like smell it. I'm talking about the kingdom. Okay. And we all want that. Okay. That's another thing End Time Teacher and I will agree on. We know that the system is completely inverted. I'll pass it back to you.
Yeah, man. But hey, as I said, really all we can do is, we just got to look at everything that's going on right now. And, as I said, hey, as Mind of God always likes to say, hey, look, the Bible's looking pretty good right now. And it is looking pretty good because, hell, not even just dealing with the MOB, but even when you deal with the other scriptures that speak about, the things that would be happening in the world, Mind of God, go ahead and get, what is that, 2nd Ezra's chapter 9, and we'll start from the top on down, right? We're seeing all those things, right? It says what? When there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars, which Mind of God's going to get that for us. But hey, look, we're clearly in those times now. Anybody that's saying we're not, well, hey, look, they must be a damn devil demon or something to say something so ridiculous. Because hey, look, you can just look at what's going on, man, and you can see that something ain't right. Hell, even an atheist will agree at this point. I'll throw it back to you.
And 2nd Ezra is for people, man. Get into this book. Absolutely amazing. 2nd Ezra 9. The title of it's called "More About the Signs of the End." So the way I view the Apocrypha, it's it supplements, but it really, I would say, clarifies the Bible, in particular the war in heaven. So 2nd Ezra 9, he answered me and said, "Listen to this. Measure carefully in your mind, and when you see that some of the predicted signs have occurred, then you will know that it is the very time when the Most High is about to visit the world that he has made. So when there shall appear in the world earthquakes," we see that, "tumult of peoples," we see that, "intrigues of nations," we see that, "wavering of leaders," we see that, "confusion of princes," we see that. "Then you will know that it was of these that the Most High spoke from the days that were of old, from the beginning." So God has planned this can you imagine that? This is not even prophecy we're talking about 2,000 years ago. This is from the beginning of creation. That's what we're being told here. "For just as with everything that has occurred in the world, the beginning is evident." So this is where God is brilliant. He's like, use your brain, all of us, use our brain. If you look at something, I'm looking at my TV. Did this TV not have a beginning? Did not somebody, put all the electronics together and somebody make it? And then so we know that this TV has a beginning. Why on earth would this earth not have a beginning? That's what the Bible's saying here. Okay. The beginning is evident. Okay. And the end is manifest when we see these signs. Okay. And what ETT and I are imploring people to consider the Bible, because it could not be more obvious. Okay. I'll read verse 6. "So also are the times of the Most High." Okay. "The beginning are manifest in wonders and mighty works." Listen to this. So there was a lot more miracles at the beginning. That's what the Bible says. Listen to this. "And the end in penalties and in signs, judgment." Okay. And we don't want those hot missiles to fall on anybody's head unnecessarily. Okay. Do you want me to keep going, or is that good? Verse 6.
No, that's good, man. I do want to say this. If you do decide to join the D-Coon, make sure you deliver him this message from me, because I'm not sure if I'll be able to make it, but I'll try to. Tell him this. Tell him that your good old friend ETT, ask him if that rings a bell, but then tell him that this is my message. Tell him, "Me friend, you strike was weak. You got cut 6 ways to Sunday with the scriptures." Tell him that for me.
I think I'll be able to remember that, because I've heard you say that before. So I don't think I'll need to write that down. So yeah, I'll tell him. I think, it's actually, man, I give him credit for actually wanting somebody like me on his channel, because if I go on somebody's channel, I'm not going to hold back. So credit to him if he wants me. I don't know if I'll do it. We'll see. If I'm bored, I might. But his video was so bad, because he's not like, when I talk to you, especially more now, you are like a real person, because you're like, oh, maybe we're wrong. He didn't say that at all, dude. Can you imagine that? How do you have an hour video about the mark of the beast and not say maybe, or say, well, it's very clearly the lead up, which, I think even some non-religious people would say, I'll read a little bit more of 2nd Ezra, man, because this is actually really good here. All of it's good. But verse 7, "It shall be that all who will be saved," listen to this, "and will be able to escape on the account of their works." Listen to that. To escape on account of their works, or on account of the faith by which they have believed. Okay. So what is that saying? This is amazing. The Bible is so consistent. Why? Because There are people, even on the last day, this is why I leave open that a lot of the elders and the people in GMS or even Sakari, they can wake up for the things that they're teaching that are wrong. It could be on the very last day. Listen to this. So it may not even be of their works. God in the last moment can wake a person up, you know, and like it says here, or on the account of the faith by which they have believed. So you can be saved even at the last moment. And there's verses in the Bible that talk about that, where God pays.
Oh, a good one. A
Yep.
good one. Sorry to cut you off, man, but it goes with what you're saying. Is
Yep.
one of the proofs of that is when Christ was on the cross, right? There was two men that were robbers. That one was put on his left, one on the right, and the one of them said they did not believe that Christ was the Son of God, but the other one said that he did believe. And Christ said, "Hey, look, since you believe, you're going to receive salvation, right?
Exactly.
You're going to be saved." But hey, look, he was a sinner his entire life, but at the end of his life, he accepted Christ, or Yahweh Shai. So Christ said, "Hey, you know what? Well, you're going to receive salvation because you believe that I am the Son of the Most High God," right? So that's a good one to back you up, man.
Let me read that one, man, because that's amazing. That's perfect, actually. That one, and I would say the one that also comes to mind is the ones where God is like, you know, has paying people for, you know, working in his vineyard, and you know he decides to pay the last person the same, and he's like tells the person, "Hey, what's it to you, you know, if I'm generous, you know?" So I'll read Luke 23:39-43.
And while you're getting that, so sorry, man. As I said, you know, I was just gonna say real quick that, you know, I do give Tahara credit and respect on this, because he made a statement and said, "Hey, look, we're all working for the same reward in this. Hey, look, since we've been in this thing for 40 years or whatever, hey, look, you know, we're all gonna get the same reward for this thing." So I'll give him credit for that. Anyway, I'll throw it back to Monica.
Yeah, I'll read Luke 23:39-43. One of the criminals who were hanged railed at him, saying, "Are you not the Christ? Save yourself and us." So this is the other criminal, the actual idiot. Verse 40, but the other rebuked him, saying, "Do you not fear God, since you are under the same sentence of condemnation? And we indeed justly, for we are receiving the due reward for our deeds." So he admitted his guilt here. He confessed his sins before God. Okay, listen to this. But this man has done nothing wrong. And he said, "Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom." And he said to him, "Truly, I say to you, today you will be with me in paradise." This also proves that the souls go to heaven, okay, after the soul dies, because it goes back to the Most High. And where is he? He's in heaven, okay? So this is true. I mean, this person literally saved his soul from potentially having to come back here or experiencing worse judgment in the last seconds of his last breaths of his body. I'll finish off this second, Esdras. This is very, very important for all of us to understand, okay? So understand it's by the account of their works or on account of the faith that was expressed, like the criminal on the cross. Verse 8, will survive the dangers that have been predicted and will listen to see my salvation in my land and within my borders, which I have sanctified for myself from the beginning. Listen to this, verse 9, then those who have now abused my ways shall be amazed, and those who have rejected them with contempt, listen to this, shall live in torments. What does that mean? They're going to be alive. It's going to be in the body. Okay. So ETT and I teach what the Bible teaches, that judgment is here on earth. Okay. Verse 10, for as many as did not acknowledge me in their lifetime, though they receive my benefits. So all these benefits and food stamps and all that, that's God doing that. Okay. How many people will give credit to God for that? Very few. Verse 11, and as many as scorned my law while they still had freedom and did not understand, but despised it, while an opportunity of repentance was still open to them, these must in torment acknowledge it after death. Okay. So they have to.
And a good one.
Gotta go.
You know, a good one, man. Yeah. So sorry to cut you off, man.
Yeah.
But you know, a good one would be when you look at the story of Job, which we all should be familiar with Job. But hey, look, his wife was telling him what? You know, hey, look, you know, the Lord turned against you, cursed the Most High, and died. But you know, Job, even though he was catching all that type of hell that the Lord let happen to him, he was like, you know what? No, I'm going to still give glories unto the Most High. Even though he brought this evil upon me, I'm still going to keep my faith in the Most High. Right. So that shows us, man, that should be a faith booster, because, you know, bad things will happen to us, you know, in this thing. And the Lord let those happen. But you know what? Some of those are there to build you up and to teach you lessons, you know, right. In this, as Gabar would say, this thing of ours. Right. So as I said, man, we should use, you know, Job as one of our, you know, examples, you know, and how we're supposed to be, because he called, you know, a lot of misfortune. And mighty God can get that if he wants to. Yeah. Well, hey, look, his children got taken, his land, his animals, his servants. But hey, he still said, you know what? Hey, all praise to Yahweh because, hey, look, the Lord gives and he takes away, as he said. I'll throw it back to mine again.
That's a good verse, man. And I would say for people, this is the part where you have to be very, very careful, especially if you're a man and all that. Like, don't listen to don't listen to women, man. Okay, don't listen to ET9 just because we're men, but man, don't listen to a woman, man. Come on, dude.
Oh, but wait, my God, I forgot though. But ETT is a little one though, because he's under 20.
Yeah, so don't listen to ETT because he's an adolescent. So for sure, okay, I'm not an adolescent, but you like the spirit of my channel is only trust God. Okay, whatever you live and die by, make sure that you feel God told you that, and then you can trust it, and then you'll feel good about yourself. We've all trusted man. I've trusted man and failed, and don't trust a woman. Okay, Job 2:9. Then said his wife unto him, do thou still retain thine integrity? Curse God and die. Guess what? That's in verse 2:9. 2 times 9 is 18, 666. So that's the spirit of the beast system. Okay. Just forget about God. Okay. Who cares what God said? That's what they're going to tell you. Some people, even in your own family, the Bible says your enemies will be in your own household. Okay. Job replied, but he said unto her, thou speakest as one of the foolish women speaketh. What shall we receive good at the hand of God, and shall we not receive evil? So Job is proving here, guess what? God is the author of good and evil. Okay. I mean, we could fill in a full hour live stream proving that, if we wanted to.
Hey, man. So sorry to cut you off, man, but I was just gonna say that, man, it's funny, man, because those guys will be on there in the Sakari saying, oh yeah, 19-year-olds, those are little ones, right? So even though this guy's 6 feet tall with a fully grown beard on his face, that's a little one, though. That guy's a little one. You know what I'm saying? That's just, I can't even believe that. So, right? So Sakari will be on there saying that ETT, even though ETT has a fully grown beard on his face, but since he's 19 years old, see, he ain't a man yet, even though he can have his own children. I can't even believe something.
19, man. I just assumed you were like older, man. That's weird. I did not know that.
How old did you think I was?
Probably like 25, 26, something.
I'm only 19.
Yeah, because last time you told me, you're like, I've been in the truth for 7 years since I was 12. I'm like, dude, you're 19 years old, man. What the hell? So that's crazy, dude.
But I forgot though. But I'm some type of little one, even though I look like a fully grown man. You know what I'm saying? I can't even believe such nonsense.
Well, I mean, I think on that, in that regard, I'll finish this verse and then we can talk. We can talk about that. And just remember, I just want people to understand, because this is very, very relevant, especially a lot of people come by my channel with family. Sorry, the few people that come by my channel have families, and I don't. Okay. And I don't think ETT does either. So we're not saying this like it's going to be easy or whatever, but learn from the Bible. What other option do we have? I would just say, be like Job. Job rebuked his wife, and listen to this. He's like, in all this, Job did not sin with his lips. He basically quoted the Bible to her. Okay. This is what Christ did with, when he was tempted. Here, Job is indirectly quoting the Bible, saying this by this and reasoning with her. Shall we receive good at the hand of God, and shall we not receive evil? Okay, this is why the Israelites, they're brilliant, and they use common sense, and they guess what? They use the Bible because they live by the Bible. So he tells her basically, shut up, okay? And then that's what we're going to have to tell a lot of people as this thing is going out, that we know what we're talking about here. So that's a good one for sure. I forget what we were talking about.
These guys, man, because that's like, we'll see. It says, yeah. I was gonna say that Sakara's on there saying that, well, 19-year-olds are little ones. So I asked him, it's like, okay, so according to you guys, then that means that the Most High made the world where babies give birth to other babies, right? Little ones give birth to other little ones. My God, does that make any logical sense?
No, and I think this actually relates to the mark of the beast, man. And I think that it's important to talk about this also, because people have left comments on my channel saying, oh, how can God judge a young person when they haven't made the decision to take it, and I think we know what we're talking about.
Okay. My God, go ahead and pull up. Let's see, get Matthew chapter 15 and start at verse 8, and we'll get verse 9, right? It shows us some of these Israelites. They in vain they worship the Most High, teaching the laws and the doctrines of man. And that's what these guys are out here doing. Even Sakari, they're out there, watering down the scriptures on certain topics so that they don't lose their followers, right? That's what these guys are doing. But hey, look, me, Great Millstone, And mind of God, we're bringing out the raw truth, right? We're keeping it 100 with the people, right? Hey, look, the Lord says what He says, so we're going to say it. If anyone gets emotional at that, it's like, okay, well then you don't know them skip G's then. But we're going to
Mhm.
keep it real with the people. I'll throw it back to mind of God.
Yeah, I mean, I would challenge whether Sakari and GMS are keeping it real, but we can talk about that. I would say again, ETT is obviously free to talk about his opinion. I just want people to know we have a different opinion, even though we agree on quite a few things. But that's his position. I would say at this point, I do feel like the flat earthers are the ones that are quote keeping it more real, and he's a flat earther, ETT. So, but that's my stance. Okay, but generally speaking, that all those groups are of the Bible, so they're bringing some amount of truth out for sure. I'll read Matthew 15:8 and I'll pass it back to you. Matthew 15:8-9. This people draweth nigh unto me with their mouth and honoreth me with their lips, but their heart is far from me. Listen to this, but in verse 9, but in vain they do worship me, teaching for doctrines the commandments of men. Okay. And so we do not want to be rebuked like this from Christ because he's going to spit us out. Okay. And there's no coming back from it. So do not Amber alert. Okay. Amber alert. Do not listen to the doctrines of men. Okay. For the 8 people that are watching. Okay. Go to God. Okay. Don't listen to what I have to say or ETTS say. Come here to maybe get confirmation or support. Oh, there's somebody else that believes America's Mystery Babylon. Oh, there's these 2 people. Oh, that's great. Use it like that. Okay. Go to God. That's a
Hey,
great
mind
thought.
of God, I was reading, Matthew the other day. As I said, I'm reading the whole book front to back for the
Yeah.
second time here, which I technically done because I already read the New Testament 6 times now. But anyway, I found another scripture. You'll really like this one. It's in Matthew the 25th chapter. It's if you go down and go up, it basically speaks about how those on Judgment Day, right? The Lord's going to gather all the people, and He's going to say to them, "Hey, look, when you saw me homeless and in prison, you didn't help me." So the people say, "Well, when did we see that?" And He said, "Hey,
Right.
look, when you saw those in the world who were in that, you didn't help them. Do you want to pull that one up, man? Because that goes into the whole thing we were talking about helping out the homeless and the poor."
Yes, exactly. That's a great one. This Matthew 25, understand this is ultimately what God is delineating, and there's no 3 hands. Okay. God doesn't have 3 hands like those Hindu gods. Okay. He has 2 hands, and the Bible describes it here in Matthew 25 perfectly. He has a left hand side and a right hand side. Okay. And what ETT is getting at is that we want to fall on the correct side. Okay. And if we follow the doctrines of men, there's a good chance we will be on the wrong side. Matthew 25:41. Then he shall say unto them on his left hand, depart from me, ye cursed, listen to this, into everlasting fire. That's not fake fire. Okay. Prepared for the devil and his angels. So all these liars are actually angels of the devil. Okay. For I was hungered and you gave me no meat. I was thirsty and you gave me no drink. I was a stranger and you took me not in. Naked and you clothed me not. Sick and in prison and visited me not. Then shall they also answer him, Lord. Then listen, they address him as Lord. Okay. And we see, and when saw we thee and hungered and athirst or stranger or naked or sick or in prison and did minister unto thee. So they're asking them, when did we ever see you like that? They don't understand that God's spirit is hidden in the poor. Okay, verse 45. Then shall he answer them, saying, verily I say unto you, inasmuch as ye did it not to one of the least of these, ye did it not to me. And these shall go away into, listen to this, everlasting punishment, but the righteous into a life eternal. Okay, and there's no going back from that. So this is serious stuff. So people come by my channel and say, oh, why are you so mean? Like sometimes I'll put comments under other videos about the mark of the beast. People are like, oh, why are you so mean? It doesn't sound like your spirit's with God. I'm like, these are serious times. Okay, what do you want me to come be polite on YouTube? Oh, I'm sorry, D-Kun, your teaching it might be a little off, That's not going to work. Okay, we have to tell these people what's going on. Okay, and again, we don't know, but we have to warn the people. That's what ETT and I are trying to do with our channels in the days that we live in now. We're trying to warn them, hey, we don't have all the answers, but I would consider this, and then we'll share. So I'll pass it back to you, man. I'm not sure if those are the verses you want me to read, but in 25.
Yeah, man. That's as I said, that proves the point, man. That, hey, look, we should, always be looking out for the other people. Like as I said before, I gave an example. This happened a few years ago, but I was now I went to the near corner store to get myself something to drink, right? Because they were having a damn sale on those Red Bulls, right? You get
Nice.
damn 2 of them. I think it was like free for $5. So I was like, oh, Tide tips of my fever. Got to take advantage of that deal while it
You
lasts.
still owe me
So
one,
I
man. You
went
keep
down
saying
there.
you're gonna send me one, but I haven't. I've checked my mailbox every single day, dude, for something.
Hey, man, look, to be honest with you, I was actually thinking about asking you because I do want to send you a box. I actually have some stuff for you, man. So we might, and I'm being serious when I say that. I'm being dead serious. So we might work something out. I do want to send you something.
All right.
Anyway, going back to what I was saying, um, I went to the nearest corner store to get myself something, and there's a woman out there with her child, and she came up to me and asked, hey, can you, help me out? I'm a single mother, and I only had about $5 on me because that's all I needed to buy my, thing that I came to get. But I was like, you know what? I'll give her the money because I know she and her child can use it more than I do. I'll go a day without getting my effects, right? My
That's great.
drinks.
Yes, that's
Um,
good.
so hey, that's just how you got to think about things. But GMS will be out there like, but if she's white, we don't give it to her because she's some type of like Edomite devil. And it's like I'm not
Right.
thinking like that. She could be an Israelite, but I'm
Right.
not looking at it that way. Hey, look, if she was a so-called white woman, which she was, I still help her out because she asked for help. I'm not going to be there saying, let's see, is she white or black? Is she an Edomite or Israelite? Are they a Moabite? I'm not looking at that. I'm looking, hey, look, if you need help, since I'm a good guy, I'll go ahead and help them out. You know what I'm saying? So that's just, and sometimes the Lord could be trying. You never know, man.
Yeah.
The scriptures say some have entertained angels unaware. You always got to be, you know, on the lookout, man. You always got to be ready and willing to help those who are in need. I'll throw it back to you.
Yeah, and I want people to know, like, that could be our future boss. I think people think that's crazy when we talk like this, but that person that we all potentially walk past, we wouldn't treat our earthly boss like that. Oh, you see your boss? F you. Like, how many people would do that? You wouldn't have a job, okay? So if God says in Matthew 25 and everywhere that the last will be first, and we're in the kingdom and we're not the elect, that means that they could be our boss, okay? And ETT has promised me that if he's my boss, he's going to give me 3 or 4 days to play golf, and then the rest I'll, help him whatever he needs me to do. But so this is why it's important, don't start problems and don't blaspheme people just because the world doesn't value them. So I agree with that. I put a link to ETT's channel in the chat for people, who want to check it out. We got End Times Teacher here and TMoG just doing an impromptu discussion related to the mark of the beast and really the Bible and the end times. Is there any topic that's more fun for you to talk about, ETT, than the end times?
Well, to be honest with you, oh no, that's my ballpark, so to speak. That's one topic that I always spend my time. Now, I do want to say this, man.
Yeah.
Before I did the stream, I just finished a half an hour video. I was just sitting back contemplating without even using the Bible. I was just going off logic and reasoning, debunking the teaching that we're living in Christ's kingdom, or basically preterism. We should talk about that for a little bit on the show, man.
I'm
These
glad you
guys
mentioned that. I'm glad you mentioned
Go
that because
ahead.
I watched a bit of the video. Sorry, I'll pass it back to you, but I watched a little bit
Oh,
of the
you
William
watched
Bell.
the William Bell one? What is your conclusion
It
on that?
was so long. I couldn't watch the whole thing, but maybe I will watch it now that I'm in D. Coon's Vax, or sorry.
Hey, listen.
Yeah.
Listen, man, when you get time, watch that whole video. It gets funnier as it goes along. I'll be honest with you. I was watching that this morning for my 7th time, man. You got to watch that whole thing, man. That's gonna be one hell of a show, man. I'll tell you. It gets funnier and funnier as far you'll see for yourself, man. But anyway, what do you think about the points he brought up in that?
Well, the only reason I don't want to watch it, I'm gonna, not to put this back on you, but it's almost like watching a flat Earth, ball Earth debate at this point. That we know that it's one, and then we don't really want to it's just kind of boring, That's the way I view it. So even that video I posted last night, I don't want to discourage people from learning, but certain things like that we're talking about, what ETT are talking about, or Sakari discussing with a person, William Bell, who I did not realize this guy's been teaching that thing for like 40 years. And he has basically a disciple on that hangout who's also pushing preterism. So these people have been pushing and are like ministers of a church that believe that all the prophecies of the Bible have already been fulfilled. And we're living essentially in the result of it. And we just have to basically do the best that we can, kind of thing. And so that's their position. And so that to me is so ridiculous. it's basically like the ball earth to believe that. And so it's hard for me to watch a video like that. It's kind of cringy. I mean, you could bring out, let's say you did not even touch the mark of the beast. You could prove that to be nonsense, that whole teaching. But obviously the mark of the beast happening makes it literally just cringe to watch that because it's like, it's so
Let's
obvious.
say this. What would be your proofs that isn't true? Now, the reason why I watch those is why for entertainment, and then also so I can learn their standpoint in case I ever discuss with somebody. Say, for an example, I'll sometimes watch, and you even agreed, watch some type of Christian teaching so we can learn what they're teaching so we can equip ourselves to refute the teaching. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man,
100%,
as
100%.
far as preterism goes, if somebody was to tell you that, seriously, not even joking around, if somebody was to tell you that, how would you refute such a statement in a discussion about that topic?
Well, I would say you basically need reincarnation to really give it a knockout blow, because they're always going to have those verses that say this generation shall not pass. So it's kind of like the same with the ball earth, is like they'll always have Isaiah 40:22, and they'll just stick with that. They'll be like, well, no, I have that verse. Okay. And it's the same. And preterists do have a few verses. I don't think ETT and I would argue that. They do have a few verses that they really like cling to. Okay. And then they have, certain things, the destruction of the temple and all that, that they'll put all of the end times destruction in that kind of thing. But that's the knockout blow, and it's only for a certain people to get. People, I would say very spiritual people come by my channel and their brain is blocked to that. They get angry when I talk about that. ETT doesn't get angry. GMS doesn't get angry. Sakari doesn't get angry. So it must be for a certain group of people. So I would say reincarnation, all the verses that support reincarnation, and we could fill another 5-hour live stream possibly on reincarnation. So it's in the Bible. And so reincarnation debunks preterism. I'll pass it back to you.
Yeah. One thing that I would come at them on is, say, for an example, they say, all right, Christ is ruling the world today. As you saw, William Bell, he was asked, is Christ ruling today? And he said, yes, Christ is ruling over all nations on earth today, which I want to hear your thoughts on that. But anyway, before I throw back to you, I asked, okay, if that's the case, where is this Christ at? Can I go visit him? I mean, hell, I might be wrong. Is what's that coon? Concave Earth Christians, is that Christ today? Is that Christ? That guy's on there like, I mean, hell, man. For anybody who saw the movie Split, tell me that guy doesn't remind you of Kevin, right? What's that guy's name? Kevin Wendell Crumb or something like that. Yeah. Anybody who saw that movie, you got to tell me that this coon Concave Earth Christians, he reminds you of that. But anyway, going back to what I was saying, I mean, is that guy Christ? Because Christ is on the earth today, according to preterism, by logical deduction. Right. So is that Christ? Do I go visit him as the savior? I'll throw back to mine again.
Well, I think that's why I want people to understand that what the Hebrews, the way they bring it out, it's difficult for me because GMS complains a lot, and they have a lot of reasons to complain, and it's not wrong to complain. In fact, the Bible, the God of it, says we should complain for the sins that we commit and other people commit. So that's where they're correct. And so people like William Bell, okay, he's got a job, maybe he's got an income for 40 years, he's got a nice house, and he's like, it's fine for me. Okay, maybe for him it is actually heaven, and maybe it is for you, the person that's listening. But that doesn't mean that it's heaven for everybody. Okay, come on. Like, especially with the internet, God's not going to be he's not going to let us get away with ignorance because of YouTube and the internet, because we know what's going on in the world. Even if the media tells us lies, we know certain truths, okay, that people are suffering. Like, I'm talking not just suffering, a lot.
I'll give an example. I'll give an example, right? Hey, look, mine of God can sit around and eat, out every night if he wants to, because he has savings in the bank. But hey, look, ETT, every time I try to save money up, something would happen to where you have to use that money you saved as an expense. Hey, look, mine of God's over here doing what he got to do, but ETT be out here trying to stretch $10 for 2 weeks just to elaborate on what mine of God said. Anyway, I'll throw it back to you.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's the part that we have to accept our position, but to me, it's so easy to really actually honor God, because we just have to stick up for other people. and then we don't have anything to lose. Okay. That's what I love about the times that we live in now. There's been times in the past where people had a lot to lose and they gave up a lot, as we read in the Bible and in throughout human history. But the suffering is so obvious. And ETT and I both live in America. And so America is better off than a majority of the world. And we're like, the people are about to lose their pandemic unemployment. People are facing evictions. Okay. There's like one in some number of kids goes to school hungry every day. And then like maybe 30, 40, 50% are living paycheck to paycheck if they even have a paycheck. So that's not good. Okay. That's not heaven. I'm sorry. Like, I don't know that's crazy, dude. It's not funny, but like, what else do we do but laugh at this point?
I mean, hell, man. Hey, look, ETT. I'll say this, man. Hey, look, if I had $300, I would consider myself to be a rich man. Inside
Yeah,
joke.
no, a lot of
Just
people
goes
have not
back.
even seen that kind of money at one time. And this is like also makes me really sad because I watch like these prank videos just to kind of like, loosen the mood kind of thing. And so they'll give a person $100, some of these prank channels. And then some people will start crying for $100. And I'm not trying to make fun of the person who's receiving it. First of all, we're not supposed to give in public like that. So all of this stuff is against the Bible. You're just supposed to give and not even tell the other hand what you just did. That's what the Bible says. But anyway, people get $100 and they start crying. Can I give you a hug? That's the world that we live in. Can you imagine $100? Okay. That's like 10 burrito bowls. Okay. I'm not saying that that's not good. Those are delicious, but that's not that big of a deal. Okay. Relative to what the elite and all the people who've printed the money, $100 would be like, there would be like a drop in the ocean for them. Like, what is that kind of thing? So that's the world that we live in. Okay. And that's not heaven.
Good point. Good point. You have this coon on there, which I like this guy. He actually does educational videos. His name is Ben Mala. He's basically a multi-millionaire. The guy got they call him the $300 million man. And basically what he did on one of his videos is he took $100 bill and he burned it with his cigarette just to show his power and how much money he has.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Wow. I mean, $100, like even people give Shaquille O'Neal a bunch of like praise because like, oh, he'll buy somebody like a laptop when he's at the store. And that's nothing for him. That'd be like ETT and I giving somebody a quarter of a penny, like not even a full penny. It's like a quarter of a penny. And we just give it to them. Would we be generous doing that? Okay. Giving them like a quarter of a penny. That's what it is relative to their wealth, maybe even less than that. So first of all, we're not supposed to do that publicly. And second of all, that's not generosity. And the Bible says we're not supposed to beg, okay, in Ecclesiasticus. So this whole system is completely backwards. So anyway, back to our point about preterism. That's insane. That somebody in the times that we live in now, and I would say anytime, and especially a so-called African-American man, which that person is, the fact that he has the nerve to say that, they should have just stayed with that the whole time, like with slavery. And people think slavery is done. Are you kidding me? There's people who are enslaved right now in America, like they're working on a cotton field. Are you like, you think that stopped or whatever? Like, oh no, we're done with that. Really? Are you kidding me? There's slavery happening right now. It's everywhere, and we see that at these in China and everything like that. So that's crazy, dude. Like that's again, this is just to explain why I have trouble watching that video, because it's going to be very cringe for me. And I don't say this arrogantly, but we don't believe a lot of things. We know a lot of things now at this point. I don't believe America's Mystery Babylon. I know it's Mystery Babylon if the Bible's true. I know that. There's no other option. And then the flat stationary earth and then other things. So it makes it difficult for me to watch those videos that are really long. But for people, go that link that I put in the chat for people, go to that and then watch that preterism debate. And you'll see how ridiculous it is to have that stance. I would say it's better to be an atheist than a preterist in 2021.
Yeah, man. As I said, man, it's unbelievable that one could even believe such a thing. So then I asked a question, and nobody can answer this for me. It's just, we'll skip this. But so I asked, okay, if that's true, where is Christ at on earth? Because if he's ruling all nations, which you heard William Bell, he said what? They asked him, is Christ ruling over all nations today? And he said he is. It's like, okay, so where is Christ at? that I can go and visit him? And then second, one that we have to address
Hmm.
is, if that is the case, by logical deduction, how is it that in America you are allowed to be a rainbow, or you're also allowed to do such actions such as bestiality, which are
Right.
clearly against the scriptures? But wait, I forgot though. But all these nations, these are all under the authority of Christ today. Christ is ruling over all these nations today. I'll throw it back to you.
Yeah, Job 9:24 explains our world perfectly. Let me read that verse. And so these are the verses that they will not understand. That preterism can maybe have a few verses that they could say, okay, that relates to this event in the past, but never has the entire earth been run by evil people. Okay, which is what End Time Teacher is getting at here. Job 9:24, the earth is given into the entire earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? And what him and I know, what ETT and I know, is that God gave the earth into the hand of the wicked. So, yes, is God ruling this earth? Yes, but he's ruling it from the spiritual realm with his left-hand side predominantly. I'll pass it back to you.
Right, right. And as I said, man, it boggles the mind, because it's like, okay, well, let's roll with that then. If that is true,
Yeah.
that Christ is ruling over all nations, well, why are you allowed to do such things as bestiality or be a rainbow and run freely in some of these societies? But those things are completely against the laws of the scriptures. So how the hell, by logical deduction, could Christ be ruling over all these nations? And you ask him that, and it's like, well, we'll skip over that question.
Well, I got to ask you, I didn't watch the whole thing. Did they ask him about Christ's skin color? Because let's say Christ was ruling, did they say, what would he look like? Because, of course, we know
I'm
that
gonna
he's a so-called black man.
I'm gonna have to, as I said, I only got like 40 minutes in, but I don't remember if they asked him that or not. But as I said, man, hey,
Yeah,
look, when you have free time, watch that whole video, man.
I
I'm
will.
gonna
Yeah,
go watch that when I get home. I'm gonna go and watch that rest of that video, man, because that's such an entertaining video that it's just, I would say that has to be one of my top favorite videos that I've ever watched, as far as debate wise, man, because that's just so ridiculous from the start. But they're serious with it. They're actually dead serious
yeah.
with what they're saying. They actually believe, and he's been teaching that for 40 years. You know what I'm
Wow.
saying? So
Yeah, that
he got,
that I was shocked when he said that. Like it's for real. Like he's a minister in a church that teaches that. So it's serious for him.
and then I asked the question, it's like, okay, well, if we go by, say, for an example, the scriptures say that in Christ's kingdom there will be no more deaths. It's like, okay, so why? I mean, hell, one of my family members, passed away 3 months ago. So it's
Yeah.
like, I mean, hell, but we're living in the kingdom. We're living in Christ's kingdom. The scriptures say that there shall be no more death and pain. Those things have passed away. So
Yeah,
why is it still here?
and the flat earth debunks it too. Sorry to interrupt, but the flat earth actually debunks that too, because then why are we in a kingdom where we don't even know what the kingdom looks like? Because then those pictures of the earth would be false, right? That NASA tells us. So we're in a kingdom, okay, and we don't even know what the kingdom looks what the kingdom looks like. Like everybody that is running the kingdom is telling us the kingdom looks a certain way when it doesn't even look that way. So you can cut that from so many different ways. It's crazy, dude.
And the insane thing about it is it's not just those guys that are on there teaching it. You have, I would say there has to be thousands upon thousands of people all over the world who subscribe to that, because I myself have multiple people come on my small page and tell me they believe in that. And you've had people come on your
Yeah.
page and tell you they believe in that. And so that shows you, man, I would say there has to at least be 1 million people around the world who believes in that insane doctrine. You know what I'm saying?
Agreed. Yeah, possibly more. Yeah, and this is why I want people to know that it is important to get into the Bible and to fast and pray, because more of these false teachers are going to pop up and they're going to be more aggressive. Just know that, and much less the non-religious people, the government, and all that. So, just even in the times that we live in, can you imagine? Like I said, it makes more sense to be an atheist than a preterist in 2021. It's
Right,
ridiculous.
right. And as I said, I wouldn't be surprised if they tell us that concave Christians is Christ ruling today, because he's on there. Remember, he's on there saying that, hey, look, if you don't give me your full name and your bank account information and your address, then you got to be some type of Illuminati sellout that's being paid to come stock my channel if you don't give me all your information. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, so for people to understand, I'll just quote Revelation 11. Revelation 11:14, the second woe is past, and behold, the third woe come quickly. So only after the second woe will this happen. And the seventh angel sounded, and there were great voices in heaven saying, listen to this, the kingdoms of this world are become the kingdoms of our Lord. Okay, this is happening in Revelation 11, and of his Christ, and he shall reign forever and ever. So only after William Bell and other preterists would then need to explain what has happened prior to Revelation 11, because that's the only time that we can say officially in the Bible that the kingdoms are now being run by Christ. So that means Revelation 11 has to happen first. So he would have to break down Revelation 11 and explain how that happened thousands of years ago. Good luck explaining that. So that's ridiculous. This is the translation of kingdoms in Revelation 11.
Right. And, you know, it's funny because you ask them, well, where can you show me in history where Christ returned for a second time? And they can't do that. It's just, will it happen? It's like, okay, well, when did it happen? Well, we'll skip that because that's an illogical question to ask. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's amazing. I don't know, dude. Like, again, I don't think ETG and I ever really, we're not trying to come off arrogant, but these truths are so obvious, dude. Like, and it's great, you know? It's like, that's a gift from God. It's like God gives you a gift and he tells you all the other things that he's dishing out to people. You don't want that. That's what God is telling me. You know, it's like, hey, you know, this gift, these truths, which represents truths. I don't look around and be like, oh, I wish I had what they had. No, I'm like, dude, what they have is stupid. So that's the amazing thing. It's like insurance, you know, it's like we got like the gift comes bundled and wrapped. Okay. Well, I'm not jealous of other people.
Have you ever looked into something called minimalism? Have you ever heard of that before?
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. I've seen that from your channel too.
What do you think about that?
I mean, I like it. I think if I were to do my entire life over again, I would subscribe to more of that, you know, and just, I would say I'm already a minimalist. Like I live in a studio. I don't really hoard many things ever. I like simplicity. So I'm already inclined to that. I would say I eat the same food every day almost. What about you?
Yeah, man. As I said, you know, there was a point where I tried to hold on to things because I would, you know, flip it and sell it for money. But, you know, as I said, it's like, oh, well, you know what? I think it's better to get rid of things that you don't need. It declutters the house, which ironically enough, I live with a family that has like 2 storage centers full of stuff. So I'm stuck with that. But at least for myself, you know, I can make it much easier, you know, on myself, for lack of better words, you know. And it's ironic at the same time, though, because even though I would consider myself to be a minimalist, I still have preps put aside. Like I have 6 months of food put aside, and
I saw that.
Stuff like that nature. What do you think about that, man?
Well,
do you have anything put aside?
I saw that you have those Doritos Cool Ranch chips, so I know where I'm going if I get a craving for those, because I noticed you have that in your storage. Those are good.
Do you like those?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really eat too much unhealthy food, but once in a while, you know, definitely chips and stuff. So I do remember that video. I can't remember if you posted a video or did a lesson.
Hey, I do have something. I have something for you though, man. You might not have knew this.
Yeah.
First, I don't eat those anymore, and I found this out because the ones that were in there were my brother put them in there. Anyway, the Doritos, I don't eat those anymore because I found out that they're actually made with pork in them. They have an ingredient in them that contains pork. Did you know that?
No, that's crazy, dude. And that wouldn't surprise me though, because even the jabs that are used for like the flu and all that, I found out that they have an ingredient that has pork in it. So just know that.
And as I said, man, I did not want to give up my Doritos because, hey, look, man, I'm a Dorito guy, just like I like my damn Slim Jims. But hey, I had to give those up because, hey, look, and actually it was very ironic because this happened 4 years ago. I was sitting there eating a damn 100-pack of Slim Jims. I went and spent $70, which is pretty much my year's salary, inside joke. But I went and spent that at Costco or somewhere to get a big bulk, you know, Slim Jim. So I'm sitting there eating all those, and I'm watching a brother's video, and he said he was mentioning food that has, you know, pork in it, and he's like, oh yeah, you know, Doritos and, you know, Slim Jims. And as I'm sitting there eating one, I'm like, wait, Slim Jims? Let me play that back again. Did he say that right? And then he did. So I was like, So I looked on the back of the container. And it actually says on the container on the back that it's made with pork. And I was like, Okay, well, I suppose I can't eat those anymore. Just a little ironic story
Interesting.
behind that.
No, that's good. Let me read this to ETT in line with that for people to understand what's going on. I'm reading from Children's Hospital of Philadelphia. Okay, it's called CHOP. Okay, so like that's funny. Just the acronym. Vaccine ingredients: gelatin. Gelatin is contained in some vaccines to protect vaccine viruses from adverse conditions such as freeze, dry, or heat, particularly during transport and delivery. Gelatin is a protein formed by boiling skin or connective tissue. Gelatin is used to stabilize vaccines so that they remain effective after manufacture. Listen to this. All gelatin contained in vaccines is porcine in origin. It has pork. So that tissue that they're using is pork. And so I want people to understand that. And then they list all the vaccines: influenza, measles, rabies, typhoid, yellow fever. So when the Bible talks about in Isaiah that those who consume swine's flesh, it's in the very least talking about this. Okay, so just know that it talks about the mouse, which they use for these experiments to produce these vaccines. So there's at least double meaning there. Obviously, don't eat it as well, for sure. But
you got
yeah,
what's that, Coon? You have G-Man. G-Man's on there saying, "Oh, hey, look, if you want to eat lobster, you can do it. If you want to eat a mouse sandwich, you can do that because Christ said it doesn't matter what goes in your mouth because all food is made clean." What do you think about that cat, G-Man?
I knew that, dude. By the way, dude, I have not history with him, but he was on all those non sequitur shows back when I was doing those debates. So he was kind of like me a little bit, going on those and like trying to get a name for himself, kind of thing. But he would talk about the Bible, but he was basically like a 501c3 Christian, like a coon, basically. You know how you use that term? That's the way I view him. When you say, "Hey, what's up with that coon?" I think of people like that. I'm like, "Oh, that's G-Man that you're talking about." So shout out G-Man, man. But that's what I think about people like that. They're basically, they believe the Old Testament's done away with. But what I realize now more and more, partial credit to the Hebrews, I would say a lot of credit to the Hebrews that they remind us, I don't think they live it themselves, but that the Old Testament laws are alive and well, my friends, alive and well. And if they're not, then that Christ is dead because he's the fulfillment of the law. And that law is eternal. So if that law died somewhere, okay, whatever, when your New Testament begins in your Bible, then Christ is dead. Okay, so that's not.
Ironically enough, sorry to cut you off, man, but ironically enough, I remember I was this was about 4 years ago or so. I was on G Coon's, what's that cat? G-Man, right? G Coon, as we might call him. I was on his show in the comment section, and I was asking him, "What's your fault to Romans 13?" Because the whole age of consent and stuff like that came up. So he was like, "Hey, the Bible says to obey the government authorities over you. So whatever they tell me, I obey them because those are the ministers of God." What would your response be to that, Coon?
Sorry, can you reword that once more? I was pulling up a verse related to the law, but sorry, do you mind saying that?
I went on G-Man's live show in the comment section about 4 years ago, and I asked him about Romans 13, right? Because the whole age of consent thing came up, and he was like, "Hey, look, I obey the law of the land because those are God's ministers, so I obey whatever they tell me to obey because God said it. You have to obey them, or you're in some type of you're going off if you don't obey."
Wow! Oh my God! I even asked the guy at Non Sequitur, the host of it. He's a rainbow guy. I was like, why does the guy name himself G-Man? Because G is like 33. Okay, so I'm like, why do people pick names like that? First of all, so he's just a sellout, man. Like that's what I didn't like about D Coon's hangout last night. It's like all they're breathing is like government propaganda. So I view those people as extensions of the government. And so if you're lobbying, if anybody out there is lobbying for the government in August 2021, you're out of your mind. You're a damn devil demon, as ETT would say. Like, dude, how much more obvious could it be for us to take the right side? Literally, actually, I use that properly, the right side in the days that we live in now. It could not be easier.
Did you catch any of that stream I did this morning with my man, the King Lion? Did you see any of that?
No, dude, I had it bookmarked yesterday. I thought you were going to do it. And then I was too early for me to catch it this morning, but I'll watch it.
Yeah, man. That guy, I was surprised on there because me and him would go back a long way. We go back a good 5 years now, and then that was the guy who made 5-hour videos about me every morning. But as I said, we pretty much made up and we're good friends. But I was surprised. He basically said that he really doesn't. He's not into the Bible much anymore. So I was surprised to hear that. I was like, wow, because he does expose videos on the music industry and stuff like that. So I was surprised, but yeah, man, go ahead and catch up on that because I think the guy is very cool. He's a flat earther too. But yeah, man, I think you might like that guy.
Yeah, I mean that's good. I'll check it out. I think that it's amazing the times that we live in now. It's like the Bible is going to prove itself to be true or false. And actually, sorry, Fresh and New made a comment in the chat. Welcome, man, and shout out Creation Bear. Creation Bear is like, ETT, try and eat a salad. So give that a try. That's a good idea. I eat salad quite a bit. But
hey, hold on.
Yeah.
Creation Bear. Hey, listen here, my friend. Hey, look, me friend, you strike was weak. All right, you strike was weak, my friend.
I wish I had a recording of that because I knew you were going to say that. I would have just played it. But Fresh and New made a comment, man. I like the comments Fresh and New makes, man. Shout out him. When the flooding happened in Germany, a German lady said on the news, said that she never thought it would happen in her country because it's rich. She said that you'd expect that in a poor country. That's true, man. And he's like, when you guys were talking about wealth, it reminded me that. That's exactly, man. That's a great observation because that's exactly what's going to happen to America, where America is described as like a virgin daughter, or like she will see no sorrow. Okay.
Hey, you can get the
American.
You can get the verse that says what that for 1 hour such great riches they have all came to naught.
Exactly.
Right, and that's what's about to happen, man. Is hey, look, everything here in America, right? And you can see this place, man. This place, everything is in America, man. You have an abundance of everything. That's why Americans are consumers. That's why countries can, as Larkin Rose would say, the countries, they can bring their merchandise over here and they can sell it to the American population because Americans are what you call consumers. That's why people in Africa or India or some of these places, the stuff that they own, they barely own maybe a box or two of personal belongings compared to Americans who, I mean, hell, I know people that have to have 2 or 3 storage units and the stuff in their house. You know what I'm saying? So that further proves the point. I'll throw it back to Monica.
That's a great verse, man. Let me bring out that one that you quoted. That's outstanding. And it's absolutely correct. So Revelation 18:17, for in 1 hour, so great riches is come to naught. It's going to be worth nothing. Okay. And this is for all of us. Okay. Whatever we have, whether it's a little, whether we're a minimalist or we're a maximalist or whatever, it doesn't matter. So Revelation 18:7 also reads, how much she hath glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her. For she saith in her heart, I sit as a queen and am no widow and shall see no sorrow. So it's better to be poor. And
I forgot though.
Fine. I'll just say this last.
Sorry.
I'll just say this last one. Pass it back. It's better to be poor and have faith in God than to be rich and live deliciously. Okay, just know that. Pass it back to you.
Yeah, I was gonna say though, but wait, man, we're wrong though, because according to ITR, that's that great city that's talking about the Vatican, right? The place that's abundant in all treasures. That's talking about the Vatican though.
Man, shout out ITR, man, and the other guys, man. They got to get back on it, man. It's not too late. ETT and I will say this to everybody regularly. We're not on anything special. We come on live streams and we read the Bible. Okay, it's not too late for anybody, And if we were to fall off, we would need other people to tell us that. So I would say for everybody, man, just teach in whatever way that you want to increase truth. Okay. Do that. Okay. But definitely don't teach America. Man, don't teach.
I'll be the first.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, man. As I was going to say, hey, look, I ain't nobody in the world, man. Hey, look, I'll admit I am a loser in this world. I'll perfectly admit that. Hey, look, man, I mean, hell, I don't have no money, right? I don't have no woman. I don't have no car. I don't have nothing. And I'll admit that. Hey, look, I am a nobody. As far as I know, I'm an actor, as far as I know. But hey, look, the point of the matter is, hey, look, the scriptures speak about what? Apostle Paul said, what? Hey, look, all this stuff, I'll give up all this stuff just so I could win Yahweh Shai, right? So that's the mindset that we have to have, especially coming into the times that we're in now. We got to be of the mindset of, okay, look, we might have to lose some things on the side. And that's what we're out here telling our people. We're not out here like the 501c3 Christian church,
right?
What's that guy? TG snakes, as we call them, saying, that the closer you get to the Most High, the more wealth that you would have. We're not out there telling the people this. We're out there telling the people what? That according to the scriptures, such as it says in, what is that, Ecclesiasticus, the second chapter, starting at the first verse on down, which you can get that. It says what? That my son, look, if you come to serve the Lord, you better prepare your soul for temptation. Because, hey, look, man, when you come into this thing of ours, as Gabar calls it, you're going to catch some hell, man. This isn't going to be no cakewalk, which it's ironic because I have cake as my profile picture. But anyway, this ain't going to be no cakewalk. You know, they look, as I said, you know, hey, look, so they said I should have been a comedian is what I should have done because I got more lines than a Zigger's cake treat. But anyway, I'll throw it back to Monica.
Yeah, and I'll get a verse to support that, and we might lose everything, you know. And I think that's the amazing thing about the Bible is that we actually have to basically be ready for that. A lot of rich people are righteous in human history, and so we're not saying that that's impossible, but this is right from Christ's mouth, Matthew 16:25. For whosoever will save his life shall lose it. So if you try and save yourself, a lot of people come by my channel and say, I was saved. Oh, I was saved 5 years ago. Really? Okay, well, you saved yourself. Whosoever will lose his life for my sake shall find it. Okay, so you have to be able to give up everything, their entire life. And so that's the call. You know, I'm not saying it's easy, but it's easier every day because there's nothing going on here in Babylon. It's absolutely ridiculous. Like, I don't know.
Right. Say for an example, when we talk about taking a risk, I'm not talking about like that one guy from the Pawn Stars show, right? Like, what's that guy? Rick Harrison. He's on there like saying, hey, look, I'll give you $5 and I am taking a huge risk here, right? Over $5. We're not talking about that kind of risk.
Yeah.
We're on here talking about, hey, look, there's going to come some trying times on this, man. You know, hey, look, you might have to give up a house. But that's, when you go to, what is that, Matthew, the 19th chapter, the apostles asked Christ, what? Hey, look, we giving up all these things to follow you. And Christ said, hey, look, everyone who's done this, you're going to gain everything back in the kingdom. You're going to gain everything 100-fold. So, hey, look, this thing of ours, this is going to be all worth it at the end. Even though right now it seems like this is a curse unto us, you know, the knowledge that we know. That's why, what is that? Ecclesiastes 1:18 says what? He that increases in wisdom increases in much sorrow. Right. Because the more that you know, the more intelligent that you are, the more upset you will be because you know how things should be compared to what they are right now. That's also why the scriptures say what? Ecclesiastes 7:7. Surely oppression makes a wise man mad. Say, hey, look, you better believe ETT is pissed off. Excuse my language, but hey, look, you better believe that.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'll throw it back to Monica.
As Martin says, you better believe that. So yeah, I agree, dude. I got a good verse here in line with what we were talking about. Don't get confused with these 501c3 Christians and even some of these Hebrew Israelites. Okay, don't get confused. Listen to Psalm 111, 7-8. The works of his hands are verity and judgment. Okay, and his commandments are sure. Listen to this. They stand fast forever and ever. Okay. This also debunks preterism, which is stupid. Listen to this, and are done in truth and uprightness. So a lot of the Pharisees and all that, they understood the commandments, okay, but they did not do it in truth and uprightness, okay. So this proves that God's judgments and his commandments, which is all the law, is a summary of all of God's commandments. They stand fast forever and ever. Okay, so all the stuff in the Old Testament, if you think it's weird or whatever, well, then God's going to look at you and like, you're weird. Okay, and you can't be in the kingdom because the kingdom is going to be governed by those laws. And guess what? They're going to be demonstrated and displayed, listen to this here, in truth and uprightness. Okay, so just know that. Okay, don't pass the law and be like, yeah, whatever. Christ says, you know, that you have to, your righteousness has to exceed the scribes and the Pharisees. They knew the law. They're Israelites. So we have to know the law. And so even if we're not an Israelite, we rehearse those acts, we practice them, and then we try and gain God's favor, you know, like we read in 2nd Ezra. So, but that's good to hear, man. I think that this is an incredible time that we live in now. The Bible is essentially being put to us on a silver platter, that it's true, or in the very least consider it. So what a time to be alive.
Yeah. I mean, hell, the scriptures say, which you can look this one up, but it says what? That many righteous men and kings before you have sought to see these things and have not seen it. Right, but we're seeing these things now. Why? Because we're in the time when these things are going to be fulfilled. Say, hey, look, we got to consider ourselves lucky that we, out of the amount of people in this world, which we can get, what is that? 2nd Ezra chapter 6 and verse 56, if you want to get that. Well,
Yeah.
hey, look, compared to the abundance of these people in the world, the Lord don't care about any of them. He decided to pick a few of us out of the world to give this knowledge, right? So we got to be blessed. We are blessed with this knowledge that we have, and that's just the way you got to look at it. Say, hey, look, it looks like the tide tips in our favor, right? The Lord decided to choose us to learn this knowledge compared to the next man. Because hell, we could have, just like the billions of people who've been born, we could have
Right.
lived this life, died, and came back again, but lived it carnally. But you know what? No, we're gonna say to hell with that. We're gonna say what? Uplift Yahweh Shai, who the world calls Jesus Christ. That's what we're out here to push. I'll throw it back to Monica.
Yeah, and I think that's amazing, and I think as much as it has been a struggle for a lot of people, and people have gone through a lot more struggles than I have, and so this is the reward. I want people to know, for people who are struggling and in pain and all that, there is a payoff, okay? There is no way that God would make the evil this flamboyant and this obvious and then be like, okay, I'm done. Okay, you built up Babylon, I'm going to destroy it, and then that's it, okay? That doesn't make sense. Okay. That's like literally a parent coming into your sandcastle that you made and just destroy it and then walk away and start laughing at you. Our parents would be evil if they did that, right? Our earthly parents. So the Bible says if our parents know how to give good gifts, how much more will God give good gifts? So if God's going to destroy something here on earth, and he is, trust me, he's going to destroy a lot of things. He would be a maniac if he didn't do it for a particular purpose, okay, to build up something righteous, and eternal. And I'll read Matthew 13:17 that ETT brought out. For verily I say unto you that many prophets and righteous men have desired to see the things which ye see and have not seen them, and to hear those things which ye hear and have not heard them. Okay, we're seeing the mark of the beast. I cannot say that enough. As our friend Rooney McNutt said, this is it, okay? I don't know what else to say, man. We're seeing it with our own eyes. Okay, it's scary for a lot of people. I would say, especially people with kids. But this is it. And
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
what I don't like about D Coon. D Coon should know enough from our channels, because I'm sure he subscribed to us. All he should say in that hangout is "this is it," and then end the stream. Right? That's all you got to say, dude. Go ahead. Sorry, my bad. That's just a little.
Yeah, man.
But it's serious.
Yeah. As I said, man, it's just, there's so much going on right now, man. We can only conclude that, hey, in the words of Ronnie McNutt before he took his own life, it was like, hey, guys, this is it. 2 seconds later, hey, he's gone then. But hey, we got to take those words, okay? Because, hey, look, this truly has to be it. I mean, how the hell can this place go on any longer? There is too much going on. If you take, for an example, the poverty of the average man, all right? I mean, hell, as I said a month or two ago, I was at the store and a father was trying to steal $5 worth of socks for him and his child. You know what I'm saying? So if you got people that desperate out here, but yet you got these cats out here like Jeff Bezos spending, millions of dollars to go into space for a little so-called space for 11 minutes or something like that.
Yeah.
There clearly is something going on out here. You know what I'm saying?
Agreed. Because that's not actually logical what somebody would want if they have a lot of money. I wouldn't be like, yeah, let me go on the scariest roller coaster ride to potentially end my own life. I wouldn't do that. If you're rich, you'd be like, let me go to like an island, and like treat my friends and family and all that. Like, you wouldn't go risk your life and go into outer space. Okay. So these people know that this is the last circling of the drain of America. So they're going to go on all their crazy rides and just realize that it's things will end. And what has destabilized this earth, and I want people to watch my video that I posted recently about the division that ETT and I know that God is doing. The truth that we're sharing, even on this live stream, is destabilizing the earth, okay? Because we know the truth, okay? Or certain truths, we know them, okay? And so that means that now God has to decide, does he love us, who he's given these truths to, or does he love the other people? And like ETT was saying in 2nd Ezra, the other people are a lot. Okay, let me read 2nd Ezra actually in line with that. 2nd Ezra 6:56. As for the other people, listen to this, that's exact phrase here. As for the other people, which also come out of Adam, thou hast said that they are nothing. Be like unto spittle, and has likened the abundance of them to a drop that falleth from a vessel. God hates the majority of people on this earth. So what's he going to do? Go and rescue Bezos and give him another circuit, in space, which we know is fake. What's he going to do? No, he's going to side with the truthers, okay? The poor, the needy, the elect. I'll pass it back to you.
Yeah, man. As I said, it's just, I mean, hey, the proof is in the pudding, as the mind of God likes to say. At this point, it's evident. But you have cats out here, like I know certain guys, man, who are ministers, and they're out there saying, "Hey, look, Jesus loves everybody. Jesus loves these trans people out here. Jesus loves all these people, right? And God wants everybody to come together." Matter of fact, mind of God, can you get what is that? Exodus chapter 11 and verse 7. It says what? The Lord put a difference between the Egyptians and the Israelites. Right. So the Lord is putting division between the people on earth. And that's why, what is that? When you go to Matthew, the 10th chapter, Christ said, well, I have not come to bring peace on earth, but I have come to set a man at variance against his father and a daughter against her mother. Right. The Lord has come to bring division. All right. But hey, look, man, any of these so-called Christian pastors, if they step on here, they'll get their ass beat 6 ways to Sunday by ETT and the mind of God, because those cats are on here. They don't know nothing, right? They went to the damn seminary, was it cemetery school,
Yeah.
think they know something. Hey, look, those cats, they don't know level. That's all I'm going to say.
That's what we're trying to do, man. We're trying to save people money. Don't go to those places and get deceived. It's like you're paying to be lied to. You can get the truth for free, if you read the Bible and then, just kind of piece it together. It's like the truth can't be for sale. Okay. Tuition, books, room and board. Are you kidding me? God's not behind that. That's ridiculous. I'll get Exodus 11:7. This is a good one. For numerology people, 11 times 7 is 77. If you add that together, that's 14. This is God's elect. But against any of the children of Israel shall not a dog move his tongue against man or beast, that they may know how that the Lord doth put a difference between the Egyptians and Israel. So God is identifying and isolating, is a good word, his right-hand side. Revelation 14. Does anybody out there, does this sound like a God who loves everybody? Revelation 14, 9-10. And the third angel followed him, saying with a loud voice, listen to this, if any man worship the beast and his image and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand. And if you look up that word hand, that word means agency. Okay, that's very, very important to understand that. If you look that up in the blue letter, okay, I can even get that if people want, but it's not talking about the actual hand. Okay, and let me pull that in the blue letter. So in the blue letter, that term, I'm doing this a bit off memory, but I think it's correct, is Chair. Okay, it's spelled Cheir. If you look at the definition, it's by the help or agency of anyone, by means of anyone. If you read this definition, it has nothing to do with a person's hand. Okay, and this is the same hand that I believe is used in Revelation 20. And then if you look up the hand in Revelation 13, that talks about Dexios. Okay, which means right side as well. So just FYI. So for people in the know, people that come by here, we know what's going on. Then shall the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of God, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. Does it sound like a God who loves everybody? Are you kidding me? Not to me. So
yeah,
not to me.
I mean, as I said, man, those guys ain't on no level. But anyway, man, going back to D-Coon's video, because you watched the whole thing, what was he basically saying?
I would say what he did, dude, he brought up a couple news articles about New York, and I think all the stuff that you see, going on. New York is like saying you can't get into restaurants without it, and we all know what it is. And then it's moving, and he pulled up a couple articles. I think he pulled up France, and Italy's doing it now. And he's like, well, look here. Well, this doesn't mean that they can't eat there. You can eat outside. You can get Uber Eats. You can get a delivery. So this isn't it. So I was like, dude, I'm telling you, man, it's going to be funny when you watch it. Not quite as funny as that vaccine girl that I completely destroyed, and basically it was like a joke. So it wasn't quite that bad. But
so the D-Coon was doing that. Just like Vocam says, he was doing that Hebrew hopscotch is basically what you're saying, right?
Dude, I'm more interested in what you think, because you're more in line with them. You're more diplomatic, because you appreciate what they've taught you. I'll throw them under the bus. And I just want, this is a fair warning to anybody. If you come by my channel and talk nonsense, I'll throw you under the bus. If you're in my family, I'll throw you under the bus. I don't care. Okay. So people are like, oh, TMoG's really mean and all that. No, I just want the truth. We're tired of lies. But so ETT, after you watch it, dude, we'll do a full hangout, man. I want to get your opinion on it. But I mean, he was doing the Hebrew hopscotch and singing at the same time, shucking and jiving. He was doing everything.
Yeah, yeah.
So you're and I sent you that link where he said it's a facade, right? So I don't
Yeah,
know
I
if he's,
saw
I
that.
don't know if he's watching our videos, man, and he's trolling us, but dude, I'm telling you, man, that you made my hour to watch that. I could not have ended off the day in a perfect way. I was like, really? So the D Coon is really he's on his coon grind right now. So maybe I will jump on tomorrow and just chop it up with him. We'll see.
Wait, did what's that cat? Did what's that guy? Did the chief high priest himself join the show?
I think I got to about 20 minutes left. So up to that point, no. And I'm not even sure if anybody joined and clicked the link, because if I knew that that was going on, I'm not subscribed to his channel, but now I am. I'll stay subscribed, I guess. But dude, that would have been funny, man. We could have lit him up, man. First of all, I'll start with the flat earth and really make him uncomfortable. And
As we
then
said, you should join him and handle the topic you wanted to discuss first, but then you should, of course, deliver the message to him from your old friend ETT. But then also question him on the flat earth, because while you're on there, I mean, I don't see why he wouldn't answer that if you ask him directly.
yeah, exactly. And so, I don't understand, man, because this stuff is so simple now. Like even the flat earth, we've done our due diligence. We've watched all the videos and, we've checked it out, and like, we know that the earth is flat and stationary. So how does somebody who's a deacon and then somebody who has the nerve to ask ETT, am I a Levitical priest? Yes or no? Like, okay, well, if you're a Levitical priest, well, how the hell do you not know what the shape of the earth is then, you dummy? So, okay, they want to flex that they have all these followers and like, they have a Passover and they're Israelites and they're Levitical. Okay, well then why don't you know basic things? Come
He
on.
said what? That he's right and I can't tell him he's wrong, right? So I asked him this.
Yeah.
I asked him this question. He said that, well, I'm right and you can't question me on nothing or you're going off. It's like, okay, so what if you're going around saying that you are the Christ, right? And that then you prophesy that the Vatican's Babylon or something like that, and this is Christ's kingdom on earth. If you're teaching
Yeah.
that, so I can't tell you you're wrong on that though, right?
Yeah.
And then I asked him, because he said, well, I'm the chief priest. I'm a Levitical priest, so you can't challenge me. So I asked him, okay, well, if I can't disagree with you because you're a Levitical priest, well, is Elder Apostle Dahar a Levitical priest? And he got cut with that because he would have to admit, oh, yeah, because that's who he learned from. So it's like, okay, so how can you disagree with him then if he's a Levitical priest? Because they don't teach the same thing, right? So you see, they get cut on that. But he couldn't answer that. It was like,
old. He stopped being a Levitical priest because he's like, whatever. He's over 20 years old or whatever the hell that he said, dude. It's so stupid, man. We got Orange Grill in the chat asking a question. What are your guys' thoughts on Obadiah 17 to 18? I was listening to Deacon saying salvation is not for the white man. I wanted to hear your guys' thoughts on this. And so Orange Gorilla always comes with good questions, man. Shout out Orange Gorilla 33.
Let me hit that first.
Yeah.
My answer to that is, let's say this. I do agree that according to the Bible, the white people, right, the white man are the Edomites, and the Edomites cannot be saved. However, you do have to understand this part. Not every white person is a Edomite, though. Some white people are Israelites. You know why? Because when you go back to Genesis, the 6th chapter, when the sons of God, which are the Israelites, they slept with the daughters of men, right? So they bore children unto the other nations. So when, say, for an example, you have something called so-called mixing, right, between the races of people, right? When a black man sleeps with a white woman, the child might come out something in the middle, right? So when you deal with that, you're going to have some white people who look like Edomites, but they're actually Israelites. That's why when I teach this, but my God might not agree, but when you go to the Wheat and the Tares, I teach it, that's goes into, you might have Israelites that look like the other nations, and we're not going to know who they are until the Lord returns, right? But to answer the question, the deacon is right and wrong. Salvation is not for the Edomites. If you're an Edomite, you cannot be saved. However, with that understanding, we do have to understand that not every single person who has that skin color, not all of them are Edomites. Okay, some of those are Israelites. So that's my standpoint on that. I'll throw it back to Mind of God.
Yeah, I would say for people to understand, like here's a very earthly example. Like if you look at somebody like Lenny Kravitz, a person would look at him and be like, well, that's a so-called African American, right? but he's not. His dad, it would be a so-called white person, or whatever. Like, and so the same is the opposite case. You would look at like maybe even someone like ETT, you'd be like, oh, that's a cool white person or whatever. And so we don't know, we don't know, because we'd have to go back to dad's dad and all that kind of stuff. So, and I want people to know this is Bible prophecy. It's actually a big part of Bible prophecy that the Israelites will be scattered into all nations. That's a prophecy. Okay. And then the salvation event will be in all nations, according to Jeremiah 31:8 and all the verses about salvation. And so, but it'll be headquartered in the North Country, which is America. Okay. So if God's people are in all nations, what are they going to look like? They're going to look like people of those nations. Okay. And so, because we're talking about something that's happened over many years. If this prophecy was only one generation, then we would expect them to look pretty much the same, as what we know, that they look like. So, but that's not the case. So there's been a lot of mixing. So we do not know what a person looks like, what their ancestry is based on their visual appearance. So there's confusion of faces on both sides is what I'm trying to say. There's confusion of face on God's right-hand side, because we don't know who's an Israelite just by looking at them. Right. Although the narrative that brought the so-called Negroes to America, those are the biblical Jews. That's a historical fact and a spiritual fact. Okay, for people who can accept it.
100% agree with 100% agree with your statement. But yeah, going back to what we're saying, if somebody is an Edomite, well, then they cannot receive salvation, because going according to what is that, Obadiah 1:18, right? All the house of Edom will be destroyed. So yeah, an Edomite can't be saved, but once again, we don't know exactly who all they are. Now, primarily, it is the white race, primarily. But you also are going to have people who are white who are not Edomites. So we do have to understand that. But primarily, the Edomites are the white race, if that makes sense. But anyway, I do have to ask Mina God a question now.
Yeah.
Do you agree that when Christ was put on the cross, he only died for the sins of Israel or for all nations outside of Israel?
I would actually say now, and this is not to be arrogant, but I think ultimately it's only for the elect. So I actually take a stricter point than what I might have even like a year ago. I believe ultimately this whole movie is for 144,000 men who are all Israelites. So does that mean that no other woman or whatever will be saved? No, not at all. Okay. But I believe that this entire movie, the main character, salvation, John 3:16, in God's mind, he's thinking about those men. That's my position now. So I've actually gotten a bit stricter over the years, because I would probably be a bit looser in the past. And shout out Shivites Jagnarth in the chat, man. Welcome. Always good to see you. And Sacramento's like, Jesus was a white man, a proud European. So Sacramento's trolling. And so, but welcome Sacramento. But let me read Obadiah 18 really quick, ETT, and then I want your opinion on that, what you ask me. Obadiah 18. 17 and 18, but upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance, and there shall be holiness, and the house of Jacob shall possess their possessions. Okay, listen to this, verse 18, and the house of Jacob shall be a fire. This is when Christ returns with his elect, and they're going to have fire. This is in verse 18, 666. Watch my sequence of the end times video. Okay, so when Christ returns to destroy with fire, like it says here, first of all, it's real fire, and it's with the elect. And the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble, and they shall kindle in them and devour them. And there shall be none any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord has spoken it. That's a body and soul destruction. This house of Esau is going to be destroyed for all of eternity. They're not allowed in the kingdom. So, ETT, what's your stance on salvation then? Is your position then that do you believe only the Israelites will be saved in these so-called chariots?
Here, I'll answer that question. But real first, before I do that, I do want to put out a challenge to the comment section for everybody watching. Let's see who's been doing their research and their study. Here's my question towards anybody, and anybody answer this in the comment section. Does God hate anybody? Yes or no? If anybody who's done their research, tell me the answer to that down below. Anyway, to answer my God's question that he asked me regarding the salvation, my understanding is, according to the skip cheese, inside joke is that salvation is only for the nation of Israel. Now, with that being said, Christ did come to pay for the sins of all of Israel. However, first, he only came to bring the elect. The only ones who are going to make it on the first go around, because the scriptures speak about 2 resurrections. That's a whole nother topic. But
yeah,
to answer the question, Christ did die for all the sins of all Israel, both the good and the wicked. That's why the scriptures say, while we were all yet sinners, Christ died for us, right?
Yeah.
So to answer it, yes, he did die for all Israel. However, on the first resurrection, the only ones who are going to receive salvation are the elect of the nation of Israel. But then the wicked Israelites, which Christ did die for their sins, but since they were wicked and did not accept Christ, they're going to have to go through that second death, which is the lake of fire. But in the kingdom of heaven, they're going to be born back again. That's my viewpoint on that. But I'll throw it back to mine, God.
We could do a hang on that sometime. Okay, so your position is then that their body, their soul will essentially somehow be preserved through that lake of fire. And so
you agree with reincarnation, right?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't apply it there. So we don't have to go into that now. But I think that I know that that's your position. So fair enough. But I think what you stated, just to highlight the first part that I think we both agree on, is that salvation, however, I don't know, maybe necessarily the right word, but it's tailored for the elect. It doesn't mean that women are not saved, because I believe ETT and I are both of the position that women as well will be taken away, the righteous ones, of course. But it's for that group. It's a very small group when you think about it, because how many people do we have on this earth and have existed throughout human history? A lot. Okay. So that's a very, very small percentage, and they're all men, and that will cause some women to be offended, and we don't care. Okay. Guess what? I don't care, because that's what the Bible says. Okay. It's not funny, but like, they're all men, and we're tired of this earth being run by women and rainbows, and the list goes on. We're not doing that anymore. Okay. I don't want to be in a kingdom that's run by women or rainbows. No, we're going to have.
That goes into what is that? That's Jeremiah, the 31st chapter, right? The Lord created a new thing in the earth. A woman shall compass a man.
Exactly.
And then, as I said, man, hey, look, anybody who's watching this, you can see, man, that, hey, look, ETT and Mind of God, even though that they're not on the same page on every teaching, you got to see it. These guys clearly know what's going on, right? These two actors inside joke, they clearly know that the world is just the stage, and we're all in the audience. Mind of God, did you saw, what's that guy? Did you see Russian Vid's video, man? The music video?
I got to interrupt you really quick, man. That verse that you quoted, I'm surprised. We don't want to give William Bell more ammo, but I'm surprised he didn't use that to support preterism. He's like, oh, well, look, God made a woman to, compass a man. Look at that. So God is making sure the women are in charge. Like, I would not be surprised if they use that verse. By the way, dude, you're getting some answers to your question, man. The poll that you set, you probably can't see the chat, but ETT posed a very, very important question to TMoG's people here that are coming by. Does God hate anyone? Okay, so let's see what people say. Orange Gorilla, yes. God hates people, yes. Sacramento Truth Movement. So God hates prideful men. Rob Kin, that's correct. Creation Bear is like, yes. Trusting only in the Most High says, absolutely. Fresh and News like, yes, he hates those who do evil. That's correct. God also hates South Americans. So Sacramento's trolling on steroids today. That's excellent. Eric Winchester, God hates South Americans. Are you serious? No, he's joking, man. Don't worry about that.
Hey, Mind of God.
Yeah.
Pull out, if you can, let me see real quick. What is that? Ecclesiasticus chapter 12 and verse 6 for me. Go ahead and pull that out. Okay. And then once you get that, as I said, hey, look, ETT, my flow is absolutely insane when it comes to those scriptures. The amount of skip cheese that this guy knows, that this actor knows. Anyway, dude, you get that, you go to what?
Everybody's got to give this video a like, because we got Biggie Smalls here in the reincarnation. This doesn't happen every day, so smash that like for ETT.
Hey, look, ETT is the notorious BIG of the scriptures. Anyway, I was gonna quote, as he's getting that, we go to other scriptures such as what? Psalms 5:5. What? The foolish should not stand in thy sight. Thou hatest all workers of iniquity. And then you go, what is that? Psalms 60. What is that? Proverbs chapter 16 verse 4. The Lord created all things for himself, even the wicked, for the day of evil. Right. So it's clear and to the point. I'll throw it back to Monica.
No, fresh and new, man. He's been doing his study. He brought that verse that you quoted. So you guys are quoting the same one, which is great. Psalms 5:4-6. For you are not a God who takes pleasure in wickedness, nor shall evil dwell with you. This is why God has to make his people perfect. And that's what the Bible says, that he will write the law on their hearts. I'll read that again. Nor shall evil dwell with you. How is that possible? Okay, unless God makes his elect perfect. The boastful shall not stand in your sight. You hate all workers of iniquity. You shall destroy those who speak falsehood. The Lord abhors the bloodthirsty and deceitful man. Okay, let me read Ecclesiasticus 12:6 for the numerology people. This is not a coincidence. Okay, I want people to understand the Bible was constructed by God. 12 is what? 6:6. Okay, so you have 666, or you have 18 that End Times Teacher says. Ecclesiasticus 6:6. Okay, for the Most High hateth sinners and will repay vengeance unto the ungodly and keepeth them against the mighty day of their punishment. Okay, that's everybody who takes the mark of the beast. That's what I read in Revelation 14. The Bible is consistent. This is the Apocrypha. Okay, Apocrypha agrees with the Bible. Just what, by coincidence? Really? Are you kidding me? That's ridiculous.
Hey, real quick, because I don't have too much longer left on here. So, hey, everybody watching, you have another, let's say 20, 25 minutes to get your questions answered by me and mine of God. So if there's any questions anyone wants answered regarding the skip cheese, better throw those up now so we can address those. All right, just to put that out there for everybody watching. And to answer a question, because I see Sacramento asked something and said, is your name Yasha? Yeah, my name, you can call me ETT, but as far as my Hebrew name would go, I call myself Yasha, which actually a GMS member gave me that name, because I used to be a guy, and even Dahar said this about me, because I went on his page and said, hey, look, man, you got GMS members that can't even put up 3 videos a week, but I made 20 videos today and put up 8. And Dahar was like, yeah, that brother's flow is insane when it deals with those scriptures. That brother, damn, that guy's doing a lot, is what he said. But yeah, as far as Yasha, what it means is he fire. And the reason they called me that is I was always the guy who was on fire, and I'm still on fire for this truth, right? A lot of these cats like Rockapanen or Vigilant Soldier, which, hey, you got to be an old timer to know who those guys are. So I don't expect anyone to know that, other than my man Ridge Napper, but he's not here. But yeah, cats like that, those guys, long gone, right? They fell out of this thing of ours, as Gabar would call it. Anyway, throw back to my guy.
For people out there, I view ETT as like my annoying younger brother. Okay, so when I rebuke him, it's not anything personal. We're not, no one's gonna do anything or whatever. Okay, we're not. This is nothing about my channel or his channel is about getting in people's face, or we're not doing any of that. A lot of people do that, and then they do bad things to people. This is about the Bible and the truth and the pursuit of it. And like he's saying, we both pursue it intensely. Okay. And it's important to us. It's not important to a lot of the world, even though the lies are stupid. Okay. But that's just so people know, when I make videos of him and if he says things about me, that's what it is. Okay. And it's not going to be more than that kind of thing. But we do agree on.
Yeah, absolutely.
We agree on a lot.
Absolutely. Yeah. And as I said, me and mine God, hey, look, we're all of us are family here, even if once in a while, we might say something negative about the other person. That's all. Hey, that's all. There's nothing to that, right? We're not on here trying to hate on anybody. Once in a while, we might get on each other. And that goes for all of us in here. But at the end of the day, hey, look, we're all trying to do one thing. And what is that one thing? It's to teach this truth to the people and to lift up Yahweh, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. That is our goal at the end of the day. And even though some of us might disagree on certain points of the doctrine, at the end of the day, we're just trying to uplift Christ and to receive salvation. All right. In the kingdom, we're going to learn. You know what? I mean, hell, ETT might be going off with the 2 witness doctrine. ETT might be going off with any of his teachings. And that could be true. That could be true. I mean, hell, I'm just an actor. I don't know what the hell's going on. I'm just a puppet on the string, and the Lord's the one who's pulling the string. That's all I know. Right. So, hey, look, at the end of the day, all we can do is hope to receive salvation. And if we were going off, all that's going to be corrected in the kingdom. Right. So we just got to worry about trying to make it the hell out of here. That's all we should be worried about right now. I'll throw it back to mine again.
Yeah, I give ETT credit. That's why, again, I don't want to talk to people if it's all about you're stupid and like, because a lot of things we don't know until we see it. Even this narrative that's going on, we have to see it. And then we'll know for sure. So the reason I would say him and I can talk regularly is because we agree on a lot of things, first and foremost, and we will admit that we're wrong. Okay. And so I'll admit that I'm wrong. If the 2 witnesses do not appear in America like I teach, then guess what? That's wrong. Okay. Then there's another interpretation that has to be correct. And I will look into that, I guess, or whatever. And then same with him. If the 2 witnesses are in America like I teach, he has the ability to go and talk to them. you know. And then I don't think somebody like End Times Teacher would go and like cause problems with them, you know, or like fight against them or whatever. So some will, honestly, some will, because they'll be so offended that that's the way it is. And so I don't want people to do that, because the Bible says they're going to have power first and foremost. But so that aspect, you know, just know, like, this is scholarly. And that's, again, the way I think that it should be with people. The way that we interact is, I mean, I don't think I really say too much that I regret, and I don't want him to say anything that he regrets either, because if I'm wrong, I'll freely say that I'm evil. I would make a live stream about it, you know, and all that. And then that would be honest of me to do that. But obviously I stand by what I teach, certainly. But the cool thing about him and I is that on maybe 75% of the topics, they're obvious to us. They could not be more obvious. And that's still a lot, 75% of like 100%.
Hey, you have Eric on here. Eric, he said, you will get corrected before you reach the kingdom, I'm sure. Hey, Eric, you know, hey, man, if you got any beef, man, hey, as I said, put it in the comment section and let's address that. If you got a beef with either I, myself, or mind of God, put that in the comment section and let's address that. What teaching are either of us going off on? And as I said, me and mind of God will consider ourselves frenemies, right? We would consider ourselves frenemies at this point. Because, hey, the scriptures say what? Scriptures say what? A good friend is a hard thing to come across. And hey, look, I'll tell you this. In my entire life, outside of this whole truth, I've only met one person that I've been friends with for 9 years. And even after we've had our arguments back and forth, we still remain friends. And that's my man. We call him Mark, right? We've been friends since we were like 8 or 9 years old, man. So that's lifetime friend right there. That brother, hey, look, shout out to him if he's somehow watching, man, because that's one of my friends that I've known pretty much my whole life, you know, and he's still friends with me to this very day. So, hey, that proves the scriptures. A good friend is a hard thing to come across, and it absolutely is. So, you know, hey, you know, all of us should just, you know, appreciate what we got, you know, at the end of the day, you know, going into our financial situations. I mean, hell, I wish I was in mine of God's financial situation, but hey, you know what? Poverty and riches are of the Lord. So, hey, you know what? Hey, the Lord has me in the state that he wants me in, and I have to accept it.
You think 20 racks is a lot of money? You would really, that's not that much, dude. That's
hey, look, listen, man. Look, man. If I had $20,000, I am set for the next 1,000 reincarnations. I would consider myself to be a rich. I would consider myself to be a rich man if I had $300. That's just the level of poverty and difficulty that ETT has had to go through in his life. But as I said, man, you know, that's just, hey, that's what it is. Hey, the Lord gives and he takes away. That's the way you have to, you know, look at life. But hey, you know, hey, there's truly a place that is far greater than this. And, you know, I was thinking about doing a show soon about what? The great things to come, which is what? The kingdom. Right. And there are many great things to come. We have so much to look forward to in this kingdom, which is to come. Right. And that's, what is that? Ecclesiastes. Second Ezra is the 7th chapter, right? A city is built and it's full of all good things, right? That's what we have to look forward to. But there's only one way to get that. And if you want to pull that up, man, Second Ezra is 7. But if you can read it,
can I pause what you're saying real quick? Yeah. I'll pass it back to you, man. Just because Eric is addressing your point in the chat, just know that he's not starting beef. You know, I know that ETT is talking; he doesn't see the full chat, but Eric's actually agreeing with us about yes, God hates, and he's saying we will all get corrected in the kingdom. He's talking about all of us. So, and that's correct, you know, because, you know, we're going to see things more clearly. So he wasn't starting beef, but if anybody does have any beef, quote unquote beef with us, feel free to join. You know, this is an open panel. We don't have any topic. We're just kind of talking openly. Orange Gorilla asked a question to you. Where does the name Yahushai come from? I've heard Yeshua and many others. I think it's hard to know exact name, but was just curious where the name Yahushai comes from.
I'll answer that. If you go on Google, or let's go on YouTube and look up GMS Yahushai, and there's about 1,000 videos you can watch where they give the interpretation, and they can do a better job than what I can. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they found a stone that shows the name Yahushai on. But also, I do want to say my apologies, my sincere apologies to Eric. I was misinformed on the statement, so my apologies. But anyway, mind of God, can you pull up Second Ezra 7, start at 1, but read it in the King James because I like that one a little better. If you have that one.
I actually read in other translations just to annoy other people because I know they don't like it. So just know that, like, Good Servant and Tom and all these ding dongs, they don't like the other translations. So sometimes I do it just to irritate them. But sorry, 2 Ezra 7, what now?
Start at 1 and we can read on down.
All right, cool. And when I made an end of speaking these words, there was sent unto me an angel, which had been sent unto me the nights afore. And he said unto me, Up, Ezra, and hear the words that I am come to tell thee. And I said, Speak on, my God. Then said he unto me, The sea is set in a wide place that it might be deep and great. But put the case, the entrance were narrow and like a river. Who then could go into the sea to look upon it and to rule it? If he went not through the narrow, how could he come into the broad? That's amazing. I just thought that's incredible language. There is also another thing. A city is builded and set upon a broad field and is full of all good things. Is this what you want me to read, ETT, or are we in the wrong place?
Yeah. Read that.
Yeah, verse 7, the entrance thereof is narrow and is set in a dangerous place to fall, like as there were a fire on the right hand. I want people to understand the symbolism in the Bible is amazing. Let me read that again. If there were fire on the right hand, that's God's right hand side with his elect. And on the left, a deep water, and only one path between them both, even between the fire and the water, so small that there could but one man go there at once. If this city now were given unto a man for an inheritance, if he shall never pass the danger set before it, how shall he receive his inheritance? Verse 10, and I said, It is so, Lord. Then said he unto me, Even also is Israel's portion.
Yeah, and that's enough, man, for now. That was pretty much to the point. Anyway, man, I am gonna have to get going now because my phone is about dead.
Okay.
But yeah, man. I mean, hey, I thank you for the show, man. Of course, it's enjoyable as always.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. Maybe tomorrow, are you down to do another show?
Yeah, I mean, I may go on his, but if you send me, because it's usually only you and I that talk, so I don't. It's not that I don't want to do a live stream, but if you message me on Hangouts and give me like an hour notice or so, I'll let you know if I'm free, and then I'll set it up on my channel if you're running out of hours, because I got a lot. So maybe just ping me on Hangouts, and then I'll give me like an hour notice, and it should be fine.
Yeah, that's cool, man. That's cool. I'll do that then. But anyway, I'm gonna end off by giving all praise to Yahweh and his son Yahweh Shai. And of course, as I said, if anybody wants to follow me on my page, you can go to YouTube and look up End Time Teacher. Mine guy can put a link down there for you.
Yeah.
But yeah, hey, enjoy the conversation, man, and I'll see you around. All right.
Yeah. Take care, ETT. Peace.
All right, you too, man.
So that was we basically, the purpose that I came live was partially because ETT's running out of hours on his channel, so I came live here, and so there is no real purpose. We were discussing GMS, and then it was becoming a bit lopsided because I was kind of attacking the elders more than supporting the title of his stream. So I think it made more sense for us to come on here. And so I don't really hold back, and I don't think anybody should. If somebody is teaching false doctrine, I don't care how long they've been teaching it or what position they have. You have a mark on you, and I'm going to come after you if I'm bored, and I'm bored a lot. So I will freely call the elders of GMS Masons or Satanists or actors or whatever you want to call that, and I'll say it right to their face. I have no problem with that. That doesn't mean that everybody in their group are not sincere. There might be some, but I view them all as actors. Okay, they're no different than other people like Russian Vids or Mark Sargent and all these people. We learn from them, but they're not anything to be. Don't take them too seriously, kind of thing. Okay, so, and I would highly recommend people do that for me as well. Okay, don't look at me as anything else but a person on YouTube, and at least you see my face. Not today because I just rolled out of bed, but don't view me as anything more than that. Okay. Go to God. That's what I will always keep saying to people. And then that's a win-win situation, because if you go to God and he tells you something, then you can come back and share it with us and uplift everybody. First of all, you're going to show that God exists, and then you're going to have information that could be uplifting and edifying for all of us. So I will throw anybody under the bus. I don't care who you are. If you like all my videos and you subscribe, I don't care. Okay. And this is a powerful position that a lot of us are in, that we don't care about anything else except God. And I would say this was part of the conspiracy to get us to this position. So don't take offense to it. Don't get don't get in your feelings or whatever. If you come by my channel and I don't have a big following, but if you write something stupid, then I'm going to say that you're stupid. Okay. And then if you out there think that what I teach is stupid, go make a video of it, and then go expose my teaching as stupid, and then I'll consider it. Okay. But I don't think that that's going to happen, and I would be fine if you did, because guess what? I'll be like, I don't want to be wrong. So if the two witnesses are not two men that are going to be in America, which is the foundation of my teaching, then I'm wrong. Okay. That spirit that told me that was using me to deceive them. And then I don't want that. Okay. Because I'm adding to the lie. Somebody could go learn something else that could be the truth. But if that is true, then that came from God. And then the reason I know that that's true now more than ever is because it's consistent with the entire Bible. So I don't teach arrogantly. It may sound arrogant because I'm the only person that is saying it with this much confidence. But if what I teach is not true, then the Bible is not true. That's why for me personally, this is an exciting time, because that's what the Bible says. Okay. That the two witnesses are two actual men that God is going to bring here, just like he's brought two men lots of times in the Bible. So it's not going to be any different. And the important thing about the last days, it's even more important because there's going to be a coordinated evil structure on earth that's going to attack them. That's never happened in the past. Those two witnesses that Christ brought with him to Sodom, I'm not saying that this was pleasant for them, but that group, that small group, I think Sodom, people say, only has about 1,000 or 1,500 people. That's a smaller group that was against them. Okay. Now the entire world is going to conspire against those two witnesses. That's what it says in Revelation 11. And so they have to have tremendous amount of power. Okay. And they have to be very, very pure people. Okay. Because they have power over the clouds, the sun, the power grid, people's skin. Okay. Worldwide. And so that's why for me, it's all or nothing. So don't confuse what I teach as arrogance. Okay. It's either true or it's not. There's no in between. Okay. So I'm not trying to start fights with people, but if you put something on my channel, even maybe it's a handful of people that come by and it's wrong and it's deceptive, then you're responsible for that. And then I'm potentially responsible for it because I'm leaving it there for somebody else to go and get misled. Okay. And then I'll put a sharp video against it if it's completely wrong or if it's slightly wrong. God does not care about a majority of people on this earth. People come by and make fun of me saying, oh, who cares if you're deceiving or I'm deceiving because you only have 20 people that show up. Okay, God cares about 3 people in the Bible. He'll burn this whole place down in Ezekiel 14:14. So if one person gets deceived, that's enough for God to get annoyed. Okay, so don't come by here with that weak stuff that you guys come by, you little crybabies and that kind of thing. Okay, if you're going to teach something, make sure that God told you that. Okay. And if you didn't get that from God, then just shut up. Okay. Or ask a question and then we'll address it. And then we'll have an academic discussion back and forth. Don't come here with nonsense in the times that we live in now. I'm trying to help you not be an idiot. Okay. And I'm saying this passionately because we've all done this. We've taught things that are false as a part of the 501c3 church and possibly even atheism prior to that. And we don't want that anymore. Okay. We're looking to something better, where there is no more lies and all that kind of stuff. So just know in Ezekiel 14:14, that's 44, God would burn this whole place down for 3 men, Noah, Daniel, and Job. Okay. And the Bible says if we offend even any of these little ones, it's better for us to have a millstone tied around our neck. So Helmet and all these other trolls and all these idiots that come by here and then make fun of whatever, I don't have a big following. Well, go to a bigger following then. Okay. Or why don't you do something better? And why don't you post your stupid ideas on YouTube so we can evaluate them? You think Revelation 6:2 is the mark of the beast? Why don't you put a video on that? Okay. Why don't you break down the whole chapter? Why don't you put that in the context of the entire book of Revelation and then the entire book of the Bible and then include the Apocrypha? Okay. So why don't you do that? Okay. So you trolls are going to have your time. Okay. And we're all looking forward to it because you people are a bunch of idiots and then you're just stupid. Okay. And we're tired of being around stupid people. Hope everyone's doing well. Bye.